Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects. ECCB Connects is a public education initiative of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank where we share with you information about who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. On this week's episode, we bring you remarks as delivered by Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy N.J. Antoine, during the workshop on Payment and Settlement Systems, Principle for Financial Market Infrastructures, hosted by the ECCB over the period 16th to 20th January. The workshop brought together various players from across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union payment system landscape. We also hear from some of the workshop participants as they give us their assessment and key takeaways. Stay connected with us. We'll share more with you after this message.
Calling all secondary and college students aged 13 to 19 years. Have you submitted your entry for the 2023 ECCB RSS ARU Creative Youth Competition? You have just a few days left to catch the 31st January deadline to submit your song for a chance to be a star and win great prizes. Come on, refine those lyrics, record your song, and upload that masterpiece to the Creative Youth Competition portal on the ECCB's website.
As the hosting department here at the ECCB, it is the Financial Sector Supervision Department's absolute pleasure to welcome all of you here today to the opening ceremony for this week's workshop on the Committee on Payments and Settlement Systems, International Organizations for Securities Commissions, Principles for Financial Market Infrastructures workshop. The second of its kind for us, and this workshop is being facilitated in collaboration with our partners at the World Bank.
Payments is an exciting area. It is an exciting era. And could I confess, there are days when I wish I had a little more time, I could just read and dive and dwell in payments. I like the space. There's so much opportunity. It has so many implications for what we do for development, for financial stability, for giving opportunity to people, especially people who do not have opportunity. And I therefore speak of financial inclusion. So it's an exciting area. And any one of you who is in the payment space right now, you ought to be excited. Because you have to bring energy. This enterprise requires energy. I've said all the time, nothing gets done without energy. And I mean positive energy. So I want to commend those of you working in the space. I want to say to you, it's a very important area. It's an area I have a personal interest in because I see what it portends for our region and our world, and I want to encourage you. As I understand it today, the key objectives of this workshop, of which there are two, are to elevate institutional risk and awareness. And yes, as exciting as this payment space is, there are significant risks for which we must be fully cognizant. So we want to elevate those risks, shine a spotlight on them this week, and help us to begin to then navigate our risk management, our response. Secondly, and quite important as well, is to strengthen our resilience for the operations in payments using the CPSS IOSCO principles for financial market infrastructure. There are, I believe, 24 principles. Yes, I've read a few of them, believe it or not. But it's a lot of work for us to do to truly internalize and to be able to respond appropriately to those principles. And so a lot of the focus this week by Mr. Srinivas will help us to better understand those. As I understand it, there are going to be 3 topics that will be of particular focus, and those topics have been thoughtfully and deliberately chosen. They are risk in payments and settlement systems, the role of central bank in the oversight of payment and settlement systems, and, as I already mentioned, the CPSS IOSCO principles for financial market infrastructures. Do you have a philosophy about payments? I'm going somewhere with this. What is your philosophy? Because I will argue, if we're going to come to this space and have any effective impact, we have to have clarity about our conviction and philosophy when it comes to payments. at ECCB, we understand that payments are the lifeblood of any economy. And I've said it before and I say it again because that is our philosophy. The payment system must work for all except illicit actors. I want to repeat that. I've said this several times in the last year. I truly believe that, and I repeat it today and affirm that is our core philosophy about payments. The payment system must work for all except illicit actors. Enshrined in that philosophy are three principles. 1, safety. 2, efficiency. 3, inclusion. That is the starting point. Because that has to energize the work you do in payments. Because it's deep in your gut. You feel it in your heart. It's not just a mind thing, it's a heart thing. You know that to truly transform this region, we have to effect transformation of our payment system. You have to feel that. You have to carry that. You are the leaders of payments in this region. You have to feel that conviction and hold that philosophy in the way you treat with payments. Folks, this is not technocratic stuff. Development always starts with a passion for people. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. It starts with a passion for people. We want to make their lives better. And everything we do thereafter must align with that passion and that mission. What's the mission of ECCB? To advance the good of the people of the currency union.
The workshop was conducted by the ECCB in collaboration with the World Bank under the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. There are several components to this project. This week we dealt with the principles for financial market infrastructures. Next week we will be engaging in a series of bilateral meetings and multilateral meetings with stakeholders across the ECCU on the new payment system legislation and the payment system strategy that has been developed also in collaboration with the World Bank for the ECCU. So we're very excited about what's going on in payments. And as you know, the governor is also very excited about it. Lots of things going on. And so we're just getting started on these engagements.
The workshop was very informative and interesting, and I think timely. Timely because we're at the start of the new year. We're still in the middle of January, start of the new year, and it gave us, well, speaking from my perspective, gave me a sense of looking back, a sort of reset and refocus on what it is we're doing. We are a processor, so we see ourselves as being important, but the workshop highlighted certain areas that makes us more critical and critically important to the payment system and the overall stability of the region, and it's something that we needed to be reminded of. And it highlighted several key areas that we need to focus on. We need to go back and review to see what we may have missed, what we need to add, and also we need to strengthen our systems so that we can continue to deliver and be of value to the OECS.
The Eastern Caribbean Automated Clearinghouse, ECCH for short, provides an electronic network for the exchange of payments between the financial institutions operating in the ECCU. So it allows customers to easily exchange checks as well as electronic funds transfer in a very timely manner. The ACH has been working to improve the accessibility of funds for the customers of the financial institutions. The workshop which we have just done, the principles for financial institutions, for market infrastructures, which we have just attended, is going to assist the ACH1 with understanding much better what is needed to improve its operations vis-a-vis any other financial market infrastructure. So it has created that awareness, and it also enables the ACH to better understand what is required from itself as a financial market infrastructure, both to the other participant banks, as well as ultimately to the customers of those banks. Our expectation is that having come to this, we are much more aware, based on the principles, of what is required, especially from not only a technical angle, but also from the perspective of regulation and transparency of information to our customers and ultimately the customers of the financial institutions. So what this would do is allow us to work better with our partners to improve the delivery of the services to the peoples of the ECCU.
I found the workshop to be really successful. It was very timely, I would say. As you know, the ECCB continues to be very concerned about the safety, efficiency, and inclusion in the payment system space. And also, payment system development is one of our strategic objectives for the next period. So in terms of the workshop and its relation to what we do at the ECCB, so the ECCB owns and operates the RTGS, Real-Time Gross Settlement, owned and operated by the ECCB. So we are a financial market infrastructure in and of itself, that function. So this week, what we learned, well, we learned actually many of the things that we are doing quite well, so that was good. And we also learned of some of the things that we can do in terms of improving on how we relate with the participants in terms of that infrastructure. What we learned this week, different principles, we went in detail, and the different principles speak, of course, about a different area. Credit risk, liquidity risk, accountability, how we share information, relevant information to our clients. So what we've learned for the different principles in terms of improving our transparency and accountability, all of these things are definitely going to assist us in being a better provider for our clients.
At the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, we operate a central securities depository, which is considered a financial market infrastructure. And we also operate a security settlement system, which is also considered one of the financial market infrastructures within the region. So this workshop was very useful for us to get a good understanding of the principles that we need to be operating under, the international principles that we need to be operating under. And with that understanding, we will be able to make improvements to our operations, to our rules and regulations, so that we will be able to deliver a higher quality service to our customers. We will be able to operate and regulate the market in line with international standards, which will ultimately benefit the region, because we will be able to provide better markets to the region. And it would all fall in line with our ultimate goal of wealth creation for the citizens and residents of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union.
The new payment system is critical. Our existing Payment Systems Act does not cater to the new technologies, the new payment service providers that are seeking to be licensed, and it really didn't anticipate where payments are today. So what we have now is the Payment System and Services Act, and we also have regulations on electronic retail payment regulations that have been approved by internally. The Payment System Bill was approved by Council, and we are seeking to engage our Attorneys General and Parliamentary Council in assisting those offices in getting the legislation ready in preparation for passage. The ECCU payment system strategy was developed in collaboration with our stakeholders, broad section of stakeholders, both public and private sector stakeholders. So we held bilateral and multilateral engagements with them.
We now present Did You Know? Did you know that the first church in the Caribbean where anyone, black, white, enslaved, or free, could worship was the Cottle Church on the island of Nevis? Construction of the church was completed in 1824 and it was built on land owned by sugar plantation owner and philanthropist Thomas John Cottle, who was the son of Thomas Cottle, Solicitor General of St. Kitts. The remains of this critical piece of Caribbean and Black history still stand today.
We've come to the end of another episode of ECCB Connects. For more episodes and exciting content, be sure to follow us on social media at ECCB Connects. Thanks so much for watching, and join us next week where we bring you another exciting program.